Alright, welcome back everybody to another video. We're here with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and this is not going to be a part. This is just going to be reading the catalogs and intel. So if you want to know more about the catalogs and intel, then stay through the video. If you don't have to watch. This video, all we're just doing is reading the catalogs and intels. Okay, quest. Chapter 1. The journey begins. Cal Kestis, the former Jedi Padawan, has been hiding out on Bracca since Order 66. Cal joined a scrapping crew and lived in hiding for years, but blew his cover when he used the Force to save his friend Prof from a deadly fall. The prominent, the ruthless Second and Ninth Sisters to attack him. Cal was narrowly saved by two mysterious individuals, Sir Junda and Grease Titterus. Now they find themselves on the remote planet Bogano, ready to discover the secrets of an ancient vault. Rebuilding the Jedi Order. After revealing she no longer uses the Force, Seer sent Cal to an ancient vault. Along the way, Cal found a friendly droid named BD-1, who joined his quest. On their journey, Cal reached out to the Force, remembering his ability to wall run. Inside the vault, BD projected a message from telling how he hid a holocron to give children within. To access it, Cal must find the tombs of 3 Zephyr stages. With BD-1's aid, Cal embarks on a journey to rebuild the Jedi Order. Chapter 2. The Eye of the Storm. The crew traveled to Zepho homeland, searching for tombs Cordova mentioned. They learned the Empire occupied Zepho in order to mine ancient artifacts. The directive, codenamed Project Augur, was terminated after Zepho's magnetic winds provided too difficult to deal with. Now Cal and BD find themselves inside an ancient Zepho tomb, looking for messages from Cordova. The tomb of Ilaram. In the eye of an enormous storm, Cal and BD-1 found the tomb of Ilaram. Inside, Cal saw a vision of his former master, Jabro Tapal, which helped him rediscover his ability to push objects with the Force. As they were leaving, Cal and BD-1 found another holo from Cordova, pointing them to Kashyyyk. Strangers. After landing on Dathomir, Cal and BD-1 faced off against a Night Sister who demanded they leave the planet immediately. When they refused, she commanded Night Brothers to attack them. Shortly after escaping that threat, Cal and BD-1 came upon a wanderer who claimed to be studying Zepho ruins. Who he is and what's become the Night Sisters remain to be seen. How many chapters? Okay, there's 6. It's not bad. A fateful meeting. While descending to Kashyyyk's atmosphere, the Mantis crew became embroiled in a skirmish between Imperial forces and freedom fighters. Believing Wookiee Chief Ten Tarful could be among them, Cal jumped ship and hijacked an AT-AT, piloting it right into the infamous insurgent Saw. Saw and his fighters were in the middle of a campaign to liberate a nearby Wars Jedi sap refinery, with the possibility that Tarful could be one of the Wookiees detained there. Cal and BD-1 agreed to help them. New allies. After freeing the imprisoned Wookiees and taking the refinery from the Empire, Cal still had no information on Tarful's whereabouts. Luckily, Kashyyyk, one of the Wookiees Cal helped liberate had fought alongside Tarful in the past. He and Marie Cosun, a member of Saw's guerrilla fighters, agreed to find Tarful for Cal. However, just as he received this news, Seer discovered an Imperial transmission revealing the Empire was close to unearthing another tomb of Zepho, the second sister's origin. While it is true that the Empire was closing in on the tomb of Micturl, Cal rushed to Zepho to find himself caught in a trap laid by the second sister. She revealed himself to be Trilla, Seer's former Padawan. After a perilous battle, Trilla seemed to get the upper hand on Cal, but before she could strike him down, BD-1 intervened, positioning an unbreakable laser field between Trilla and Cal. As Cal escaped into Micturl's tomb, he tried to call Seer, but was interrupted by Trilla slicing his comm. The tomb of Micturl. In another play to kill Cal, Trilla lured him onto a hanging scarifs and instructed her forces to shoot it down. In that moment, Cal regained the ability to pull his lightsaber and narrowly escape. On their way out of the tomb, Cal and BD-1 found another encrypted log from Cordova, explaining the key to the Bacano vault is a device called the Zepho Astrium. To access the vault, they'll need to find one. Before he could return to the ship, Cal was captured by a bounty hunter who they worked for remains a mystery. Chapter 4. Fractured Trust. Trapped by the infinite scorched Tormo, Cal and BD were focused to fight fearsome creatures during the show. The Mantis burst into the Haxan Broad's lair to rescue them. The reunion was an unhappy one. However, Cal learned that the Broad found him because Grease lied about paying off his debts. Even worse, Cal was still reeling from his discovery that Seer had given up Trilla under torture. Seer and Cal's argument was cut short by a transmission from Mari Kosin, who'd found Tarful in Kashish's Shadowlands. Diverting pass. After a talk from Grease, Cal and BD set off to find Murray and Tarful. While Cal was fighting the Broad, Trilla led an attack to destroy their resistance. A rift formed between Murray and Saw, splitting their forces in two. Saw had since left the planet after fighting their way through the recaptured refinery. Cal and BD-1 met Murray, Tarful, and Trotsky. Tarful told Cal to climb to the origin tree, and Murray gave Cal a breather to help him get there. The two groups parted ways. Now Cal must climb the origin tree. Follow the Ninth Sister. On the way up the origin tree, Cal and BD-1 encountered the Shirik bird after saving himself from a deadly fall from Jedi flip. Cal and BD rode the Shirik to the top. They discovered two things. Cordova found a Zepho Astrium there years before, and a Zepho tomb on Dathomir might hold another. Just as they were leaving, the Ninth Sister attacked. A fierce battle ensued, but Cal won it by pushing the Ninth Sister off the tree. The grateful Shirik bird gave Cal and BD a ride down. Now their hopes rest on finding an Astrium on Dathomir. Chapter 5. The swamps of Dathomir. Cal and BD-1 nearly made it to the next tomb when they were ambushed by Night Brothers. While the two were safe, they were forced to wander through the dangerous Dathomirian swamps. They were once again found by the Ninth Sister. Merlin, who began raising undead Night Sisters to attack them as they traveled inside a dark cave. BD found climbing claws on a Night Brother corpse just as the dreaded Gorgona came home to roost. During the fight, Gorgona snatched them into an aerial battle, mending into a crash that killed the bat-like beast. Shadow of the Master. Cal and Beatty found their way to the ruins where Cal faced a dark vision of Jaro Tapal. This phantom shattered Cal's lightsaber. Leaving him defenseless, Cal and Beatty fled the ruin. Running into the Wanderer, he revealed himself as Taran Malicos, a former Jedi now studying the dark side. Malicos asked Cal to join his quest for power, but was cut off by Murrin. She raised a horde of undead to destroy him and Cal. Cal and BD-1 rushed back to the Mantis after Cal's confession about Order 66. Seer says it's time for him to build his own lightsaber. Reforged. Seer gifted Cal her lightsaber hilt through her cyber crystal had been sold long ago to pay for Grease's debts. Inside the caves, Cal followed the call of the crystal through a crack in an ice wall. The ice beneath Cal and BD-1 shattered, sending Cal plummeting into icy water. BD-1 saved Cal just in time, but the crystal split in two. That triggered a log from Cordova, revealing BD-1 sacrificed his memories to store logs vital to Cal's quest. Cal combined Seer's and Jaro's hilts, creating a lightsaber with single, double, and dual wielding capabilities. The escape. On their way out of the caves, Cal discovered a massive Imperial mining operation on Ilum, designed to extract the planet's kyber crystals. As Cal and BD-1 fought their way back into the Mantis, Seer used Trilla's trick from Mark Turtle's tomb to prevent the Empire from calling reinforcements. The Empire eventually reversed the slice, but it gave Cal and BD enough time to get back to the Mantis. Now with his lightsaber reforged, Cal must return to Dathomir and face the dark side once again. Laid to rest. Cal returned to face the shade of Jaro Tapal. He realized the only way to defeat Jaro was to embrace his past and move forward. He knelt before Jaro's spectre, causing the apparition to vanish. As Cal and BD-1 moved into the tomb of Kujet, they came upon Murrin. This time, however, she was willing to talk. Cal learned that she might be the only survivor of the Night Sister massacre carried out by General Grievous during the Clone Wars. Merlin learned about the Jedi Purge, and Cal disavowed Malicos as a fallen Jedi. A new ally, Merlin allowed Cal to pass, warning that Malicos was ahead. Malicos tried one last time to turn Cal, but attacked when he refused. It appeared Malicos would win, but Merlin intervened, blasting Malicos with Matic. They worked together to defeat Malicos. After Cal revealed that he came to Dathomir for an answer, Merlin agreed to help him, and they found one of the Kujet's tombs, desiring more knowledge of the galaxy and a future for her people. Merlin joined Cal's quest together. The crew stands ready to return to Bogano and find the holocron. Chapter 6. The Lost Holocron. Cal and BD-1 brought the Astrodome to the vault and found the holocron. Cal was swept into a vision, younglings training only to be ambushed by the Empire. A battle of death, torture, Cal as an Inquisitor. When he awoke, Trilla stood before him. Pal pulled her lightsaber, thrusting him into a Force echo. Seer and Trilla tortured. Trilla's turn, Seer's escape. When he returned, Trilla and the holocron were gone. Cal ran back to the ship and told Seer. She reached out to the Force, took up Trilla's lightsaber, and knighted Cal. The final battle. Cal, B1, and Seer infiltrated the Fortress Inquisitress, a Murran cloaked, which Fortress Inquisitress is pretty much just Darth Vader's castle. As Murran cloaked the Mantis, Trilla waited for them inside, where she and Cal had a climactic battle, and Cal took back the holocron. Seer stepped in and apologized for the pain she caused Trilla, just as it seemed the P might reach her. Darth Vader appeared and murdered Trilla. Seer and Cal ran for their lives. Vader nearly trapped them, but Seer used the Force to protect Cal, a favor he returned once the fortress flooded. Murran and Grease rescued them and the holocron. An uncertain future. Once the holocron was safely on board the Mantis, Cal made the decision to destroy it. Whatever future awaits the crew, the children inside will remain safe. That's good. And that was Quest. And now Braca. Flora and fauna. Braca is a poor mid-rim world dominated by rocky plains. It was the site of a fierce campaign during the Clone Wars. Battles in orbit and on the surface raged as the Separatists admitted to wrest away Republic control of this system. The Separatists were aided by sympathizers from within the Scrapper Guild, nearly leading to the victory over the planet. In retaliation, the newly formed Empire cut wages and lowered safely strands within Braca's scrapyards. Ibidis Ma. Braca is home to the Ibidis Ma, a superorganism that superficially resembles Tatooine's Scarlies. The various mouths of the Ibidis Ma connect to a vast distributed digestive system that resides hundreds of meters below Braca's surface. The mouths of the maw that reside in the scrapyard have swollen to immense size, fed by a steady diet of Starship's material. Empire on Braca. The Scrapper Guild. The Scrapper Guild is a network of engineers and laborers that operate in concert with the Galactic Empire, recycling and repurposing technology, machinery, and infrastructure throughout the galaxy. Since the rise of the Empire, the Scrapper Guild has focused heavily on a expensive but highly successful campaign to do anyway with all vehicles, equipment, and technology associated with the Republic. Starship's scrapyard. Scrapping is the most profitable industry on Braca. During the Clone Wars, the planet's facilities were optimized to break down enormous flagships. Now it continues to be a center for the disposal of starships, despite Imperial ire with the Scrapper Guild. Braca cargo trains. Braca's cargo trains serve a high-speed transport network for parts being shipped off-world. The average shipment travels through 25 security checkpoints before being exported to the corn world for resale. And that was Braca. Now on to Bogano. It's kind of been for long for Braca. Flora and fauna. Bog rats and spunk. Generally a hyper-aggressive terrestrial species, bog rats gradually form volatilistic relationships with spunk. Spunk will distribute bungling nests, lowering them to the surface to be ambushed and eaten by bog rats. Once the adult boglings are out of the way, spunk burrow into their nest and devour the eggs. Mysterious skeleton. The structure of these bones suggests a large reptilian creature, and analysts of elements within the bones date them as old as 1,000 years. Parrotfish. Parrotfish inhabit large bodies of water, feeding primarily on small algae fragments and other plants. When algae supply grows scarce, many fish die off. Their decomposition process raises their acidity of the water, gradually wearing away at the ground below and forming sinkholes. Zari. Zari thrive in rocky, windy habitats where their low stance and adhesive grip provide fast and agile traversal over multiple surfaces like cavern walls. Highly sensitive to climate, they function slower in warmer temperatures than colder ones. Bungling studies. Bungling corpse. This bungling fought back against an Ogdu, desperately trying to protect its family. Dead bungling. A dead bungling killed by one of the predators that lived on the fractured plain. It was most likely headed back to its nest. Bungling tunnel. Bungling tunnels connect their nest and serve as a natural defense against predators. Able to dig 5 meters per day, bunglings collaborate in hexes or large packs, spending approximately 1/3 of their lifespan digging the intricate tunnel network. Bunglings. Bunglings are small creatures and epidemic to Bogano. Nature escape artists, they evolved to run on their toes. This technique allows them to quickly change direction or jump while navigating Bogano's mix of rocky and marsh-like terrain. Their furry bodies compensate for the heat lost through their bare feet. Dead spunk. A dead spunk killed by bunglings when it admitted to raid their nest. The researcher. Water filters. These water filters rely on the planet's algae to purify drinking water. Impurities are removed from the algae and used as fuels to create water and materials in a process known as chemosynthesis. The result converts the water's natural acids into drinkable water. Research notes. Mercurius handcrafted notes on the energy sphere left behind by the researcher on Bogano. Researcher camp. Traces of a camp used by someone excited to study a large creation they referred to as a bingo. larder. Someone lived here for some time using this larder for storage and provisions. Traveling to the vault, a tool used by a traveler who wanted to research the mysterious vault. Meditation, a meditation area well hidden. Whoever was here knew the Jedi Order. Frustration, a bag left by someone who came here from Coruscant. They were strangely frustrated with the Jedi Council for some reason. Secretary. Part of the Cordova's kit, he was troubled about the Jedi's continued involvement in a seemingly endless war. He knew his work here was more important. Cordova's Padawan. Cordova felt isolated and alone. He spent time fondly reflecting on his Padawan and the memories of their adventures. Old memories. Cordova's droid kit. He hoped someone would come along who could figure out the secret to the vault. Weather Center. Jedi Master Eno Cordova originally created his weather center to help him decide whether or not to wear a sweater on his excavations. To his surprise, the data he retrieved showed traces of electromagnetic radiation in Bogano's winds. Though it exists in much lower concentrations than on Zeffo, Cordova theorized this could be one reason that the Zeffo chose to create their vault on Bogano. Droid Karin. These scraps served as Karins for the droids who helped build the research station on Bogano, which, without their help, little would be known about the Zeffo or their vault. Fated Moral. A fated memorial located on Bogano, not far from the Zeffo vault, it likely represented a planet, but the artwork is too damaged to make out any species. Well, Pacifics, actually. Remnants of a lost civilization. Offerings. These relics contain materials that aren't native to Bogano. Their fragile structure indicates they were purely decorative, potentially objects of religious significance. It's possible they were carried here as a form of pilgrimage. Inscriptions. The vault is built out of carnite, a hard stone rich in minerals. Its inner walls are decorated with metallic patterning and inscriptions. The glyphs don't return results in any galactic database, suggesting the language has been lost to time. Ancient bones. Ancient remains of a sentient species too faint to gather any other information. The vault. This structure has been here for centuries. It appears the only way to open the vault is by using the Force. Zeffo Colony. The statue was placed carefully on a site with a view of the vault, an indication that the ancients here chose the location of the vault with great purpose. Resting place. An ancient burial site hastily fashioned for an unknown race, not human. the creature. Ben moral. The ancient Zepho depiction of the Ben Cordova hypothesized the preference of the bog was a key factor in choosing Bogano for the vault due to its importance in Zepho's art. The Ben Og is an enormous million creature found on Bogano. They can live for thousands of years, only breeding once per lifetime. Due to their scarcity of offspring, very few big Ogs are left in the galaxy. And that was Bogano. And now we are going on to Zepho. Imperial extraction. Excavation. Storage crate. Stuttery storage containers to transport fragile goods. The outside is made of a heavy metal that can easily withstand Zepho's high winds. Warning, this area is off limits. Imperial Code 94364. No selling or trading. Pressured for relics. A relic crate filled by anxious stormtroopers. They met their quota this time. Excavation equipment. Imperial excavation equipment. The level of dust suggests it's been sitting here a long time. Excavation saw. These excavation saws were typically designed to cut through planetarium bedrock, giving the Empire access to secrets thousands of kilometers below the surface. Cave-in. The remains of a stormtrooper killed when the tunnel collapsed due to Imperial excavation. A sound of destruction. The MK-270 Imperial pulverizers are critical for Project Augur, as the icy barriers in Zepho's cave systems require an incredible amount of power to break through. Even the Empire's specialized saws are not significant to break through the ice on their own. Closing in. Micro binoculars used by Imperial stormtroopers to scout entry into the tomb. Discovering relics. A containment crate used to transport artifacts found inside the tomb. This one was used by a worker under pressure for results. Guardians of the tomb. In the research for Zepho artifacts, these stormtroopers suffered an unexpected and horrific encounter with a tomb guardian. Destructive measures. Tools left by a worker in haste to locate Zepho relics and careless of the surroundings. Scout trooper baton. Imperial electrical baton given to troopers stationed in remote areas where unexpected threats may arise. These weapons were crafted from the same components as Clone Wars era electro staffs, but have updated Imperial modifications. Something like that. Project Augur officer. Project Augur, in accordance with the Empire's will weave a confidence. This planet relics for Project Electric magnetic winds have reengineered the bulk of our mining technology, unless meanwhile more troopers lose their lives to dangerous fauna. We will not be able to fulfill our directive here. It is my recommendation that we disband the project and leave a token outpost to keep scavengers from stealing our technology. A new officer. A riot baton that belonged to the new commander of Project Arbor. She was determined to make progress and prove herself. Questionable use. A Imperial container used to transport many of the artifacts found during Project Augur. The workers doubted the worth of some items. Ice cave. Excavation. A broken pot smashed by the officer in charge of Project Augur. She was angry that they weren't finding what she wanted. Finding artifacts. A tool dropped in excitement over a mysterious find by a worker during the excavation. It appears they found what they were looking for. Missing artifact. A crate used by the Empire to transport relics found in the excavation. An Imperial officer seemed to be misleading about it. Secret. A container used by an Imperial officer to hide a relic she hoped would find favor with the Empire. Her deception was making her reckless. Officer Crane. It remains an Imperial officer who admitted to hide a relic in the cave during a collapse. She was trapped and died. Zepho villages. Eviction. A pack left by villagers forced from their homes by the Empire and shipped off to labor camps or worse. Eviction notice. Civilians must immediately report for relocation. Looters will be shot. In coordination with Imperial Code 94364, no selling or trading without proper authorization and explicit consent. This property and its belongings are now under the protection of the Galactic Empire. General Markham 201 1st Squadron. Separated. A bag left by a family as they became separated. The father caused a distraction, allowing the mother to escape with their child. Hiding. A piece of fabric used by a mother to protect her child. They were on the run, trying to escape from something. Evidence of a fight. A stormtrooper helmet left after a struggle with a villager. Dead villager. The remains of a villager who died trying to save his family from the Empire. Hideout. A comm used by a mother to contact someone close to her. She couldn't wait for them any longer, but the decision to go was painful. A memorial to the fallen clones of the memorials to the fallen clones of the Ventor constructed by the villagers. The galaxy believes the Jedi were traitors. Only a few know the truth. Villager Shrine. The monuments once served as landmarks and memorials for the departed. The villagers on the Zepho possess deep respect for the dead, acknowledging that their struggles enabled the survival of the living. It's possible these stone sculptures were inspired by ancient Zepho architecture. Drowned. A sudden disaster struck killing the creatures in this tunnel with a massive flood architecture. Zepho culture. Meditation relics. Zepho meditation relics used in ancient rituals to train Force users. Zepho rituals, the remains of ancient wars crafted by the Zepho, perhaps used for rituals. Offerings, remains of an ancient artifact constructed as an offering to the wind but destroyed intentionally for some reason. Tomb Guardian, a Zepho Tomb Guardian, powerful automatons that protect the tombs, was destroyed here long ago. Whispers, a set of wind chimes left behind by the Zepho who built the tomb. Ancient statues. These statues were carved from the natural cavern walls. They depict Zepho holding spheres, possibly the same kind used to power their tombs. Wind chimes. The Zepho's reference of the wind shaped everything they created. The movement of wind through their chimes may once have called the sages to prayer. Cephalid cavern. The skull of an ancient Zepho killed during a horrific disaster millennia ago. Sage Ilarum. Sage training ritual relic used by Zepho Force users for generations in their pursuit of understanding. Broken artifacts, the remains of ancient artifacts deliberately destroyed for some purpose. Ilarim's sarcophagus. The ancient Zepho sarcophagus holds the remains of Sage Ilarim. They were the first of the Zepho to establish a relationship with the inhabitants of Kashyyyk and love the planet's greeny dairy. Now their remains and forever interred beneath the roots of a stone worship tree. Sage Mictrol. Age of Extravagance. A Zepho relic from an ancient Zepbolic by Vanny. Extravagance and power. Obsession. The remains of a Zephyrian labor. They were overpowered to the point of death. Respected symbol. Candles were often lit as a sign of respect and reference to Sage Mictrol. Zepho labor. A corpse belonging to the Zephyrian workforce that helped construct the tomb. Offering to Mictrol. The sage of this era demanded precious offerings. Votive candles. The most common offering brought to Mictrol's tomb were votive candles, generally encased in metal and adorned with carvings. It's said that their flames represent Mictrol's unending power. Zepho soldier remains. Discarded remains of a Zepho soldier. They were killed for stealing a scarred offering to their sage. Vantor Wreck. Staying together. General Chick-Ting. Our forces have inflicted heavy damage on the Separatist dreadnought. Unfortunately, the same is true For our vessel, you know I'm not going to back down from a fight despite the damage. I recommend we see this through together. Clone Commander. The attack. There was a battle aboard the ship, forcing it to fall out of hyperspace and crash on this planet. Transmission. The Clone Commander and Jedi Master survived the crash, but the Padawan was missing. ARC-170. The ARC-170 aggressive reconnaissance starfighter was used by the Galactic Republic during the Clone Wars. Jointly manufactured by Income Presentation and Subpro, it would continue to see usage into the reign of the Galactic Empire, but would eventually be phased out of the newer tie line. The Padawan. This ship crashed long ago, but there was a survivor, someone who understood the Force, most likely a Padawan. He was injured. Hiding. Someone hid in the ventilation shaft while they were hunted, likely by clones. Electricity conducts. These high voltage electricity conducts once powered the Ventnor's engines, capable of generating up to 1 gigaton of energy each. Republican safety precautions required there be no living entitles in the area while they were operational. 8. Order 66 executed. The Jedi General who commanded this veteran found her Padawan disoriented and gravely wounded. They fought back the clones who were once their friends. Reunited. A master knelt here, too badly wounded to move forward quickly. She was reeling from the multiple bleeding wounds she incurred. Protecting her injured Padawan, she urged the boy to run, but he couldn't bear to leave his master. 10. Jedi Grave. A Jedi Master died here, buried by her Padawan in a shallow grave. The Padawan succumbed to his wounds soon after. Survivor. A dead clone, but he wasn't killed in the crash. He appears to have been killed by a lightsaber. And that was FO.